So, before we begin this video, I need to clarify something right from the jump. The making of this video and who it involves does not erase or rescind any valid criticisms levied towards this man known as Verlisify. However, Verlisify made a video which is not exactly wrong in terms of his stance on the subject matter. So even though Verlisify has a history of warranted criticisms levied at him, every now and then he can actually be correct in something, such as cheating is wrong, and the second thing being the subject matter of this video. So let's get on with it. Well, I never thought I'd actually be making a video in which I praise Verlisify. Quick, sound the alarms! It's Code Furry Justice! I repeat, Code Furry Justice! Hey, you angry mob, stop that right now and put down those pitchforks. Okay. Joking and sarcasm aside, let's actually get serious. Okay, so Verlisify is completely correct here when it comes to calling out this individual for making a bomb threat to the Pokemon Company International, and this individual happens to be a VGC player that goes by Len VGC on Twitter. This individual did not take any accountability for their actions because they were disqualified for using illegal Pokemon. They then made a tweet in which they allegedly threatened to bomb the Pokemon Company International. Like, that is extreme. This individual had also claimed it was a joke or a meme in the Spanish community. So this here is the tweet in question, and let's see what it says here. So this here is a rough translation of what is said, so I do apologize if the translation happens to be a little bit scuffed. But this is what it says according to translated from Spanish by Google. Today I was informed that I have been permanently banned from the official Play Pokemon competitions. The reason is due to threats made online. So taking into account the last tweets I have published, I understand that they refer to the tweet in which I said that if I were banned again from any Pokemon, I would bomb TPCI. First of all, I'm sorry if anyone has interpreted this literally. That was not my intention at all. It is a fairly common Spanish meme that seeks nothing more than to make fun by saying an impossible situation, in addition to the fact that I wrote the tweet with several spelling mistakes to make it even more absurd. Even so, I understand that seen from outside Spain and without understanding that it is a Spanish joke, it can be misinterpreted. That is why I saw it necessary to explain the context. Secondly, I would like to emphasize that I am aware that the tweet was not correct and that as a professional player, I should have shown exemplary behavior. I have been competing since 2016, and I believe that I have encouraged many people to play competitive Pokemon, as I find it a great way to travel, enjoy your passion, and meet people to connect with. I have worked harder than anyone to make this community a better place, and I feel very devastated by this news. I recently left my job to dedicate myself to competing, doing personalized classes on how to play competitive Pokemon, and creating content on Twitch and YouTube, in addition to having entered the club at Esport Maniacos with great enthusiasm. This harms me not only at a hobby level, but also at a work level. If this situation is not resolved, unfortunately, I will have to stop playing Pokemon VGC, so I will not be able to attend any events that take place from today onwards, including the Hawaii World Cup, which I was very excited to attend. I will do everything in my power to solve this situation and be able to continue competing, since that is what makes me happy. I hope I have expressed myself as best as possible, and I sincerely apologize to the Pokemon Company and to all the people who may have felt offended. With a lot of pain, Alex. Okay, so after absorbing all of what was said here, I do have some things to say. So first of all, this individual did apologize. Now, whether or not it came from the place of a genuine apology, or more or less a case of apologizing for being busted on doing something insanely stupid, that right there, I guess, is more or less meant to be up for interpretation. This does not, under any circumstance, absolve or erase any valid criticisms that are levied toward this individual. And when you do stupid shit like this, well, you're gonna get burnt in the worst way possible, and this is something that you may not recover from. If this is a joke or a meme that it's so common to do, does that mean the Spanish community are a bunch of terrorists when they don't get their way? Is that how the Spanish community really behaves? Well, the answer to that is a no, because anyone with half a brain would completely disavow this type of behavior, because if you have someone that is a part of any community pulling this type of stuff right here, that is not a good representation of your community. End of. And besides, in what world is this even remotely acceptable? Now you might be asking, what does Verlisify have to do with all of this? Well, in the video he made, he goes on to talk about the situation, and this is actually one of the very few times in which he calls people unhinged correctly. Now, this is something that I really don't say and take lightly, but you gotta be pretty damn deranged to think that it's completely justifiable to, quote, joke about bombing the Pokemon Company. And especially in this day and age where the world is still in an absolute hot mess, this is something that really shouldn't be joked about. And this is coming from someone that has an immense amount of humor, some of it being dark humor. Now, this whole situation actually reminds me of when two individuals back in 2015 threatened to do a mass shooting at a Pokemon World Championship in which those two individuals did show up with firearms and were actually caught. Like, seriously, can these people use their damn brains? Well, they would if they could, but they probably don't have any. You cannot say, I'm going to blow up the Pokemon Company as a joke. You know damn well how that could be interpreted. That isn't a defense, and it never should be. Now look, I get it. We all get it that cheating is bad and people shouldn't do it. And it should be left at that, rather than going further than that and making accusations. We are in Generation 9 for Pokemon, and Pokemon currently is super accessible when it comes to gaining competitively viable Pokemon and training them. Making a competitive Pokemon can be done in as little as 15 minutes. We have bottle caps, Destiny Knot, bracers, ability capsules, and patches, vitamins, more money than we can ever generate, experience candy, and even mints. There is absolutely no reason to gen a Pokemon in the current generation, and that isn't talking about how easy it is to get a shiny Pokemon either due to sandwiches. I mean, sure, if we were to talk about, say, Generation 5 and how ungodly difficult it is to get competitively viable Pokemon with solid IVs, with solid natures, etc., then the argument for genning Pokemon can be made, and it would be much more valid at that time, as it would be very difficult to make a competitive team under that circumstance. But bringing illegal Pokemon to official tournaments is not okay. That is something that I personally have always said, please do not do. It shouldn't be done. Players should not be using third-party tools in Pokemon for competitive play. Casual play? That's another thing. When caught, they shouldn't be pulling any of this crap. They need to take accountability because we are mostly adults or even older teenagers. Have some common sense and think before you post anything. Thanks for watching.